Guys, I'm back. How are we? Welcome. So we've got quite a good turnout today, guys. Obviously, got nothing better to do than listen to my waffle again. Only joking. Extremely interesting. Right. So we're going to have some fun and games. I'll say hello to everybody. Let's have a look. Those who know, I get a bit lost with these questions, don't I? Tangy's in tonight. How the devil are you? Grace, hello. Colm, how are you? Zoolander, how the devil are you? Jules, welcome. Vincent Cousins, welcome. John Perkins, welcome. Michael Page, how the devil are you? Laura, how are you? Laura Lake. Grace Kemp, hello. Ewan, we've said about. Peter Sycamore, how are you, Peter? Aaron Blake, Stephen Burke. Nahum, welcome. Lydia, how the devil are you? Beth Williams. God, we've got a whole stack of you in tonight, haven't we? Okay, I've got to watch those going up as we go. Right, fun and games, back by popular demand. You've forced me to come back, but it's lovely to interact with you. Right, new guys out there, guys, welcome. Okay, nice to have you on board. Those who have listened to me before, welcome back for more fun and games. Right, I'll just give it a couple of minutes while I waffle. A lot more people are coming in. Jessica, how the devil are you? Lovely peoples everywhere. Right, guys, isolation week. I think it's week 10. How are you holding out? I've been keeping extremely busy. I've become green-fingered gardener. My garden is looking amazing. So in a positive way, guys, funny, things like gardening, I'd never have got anything done. You know, I painted part of my house, did all my gardens, looking beautiful, planted loads of trees and stuff, you know. Learned how to turf my garden. So I did loads of stuff that you would never get to do because I'm a bit of a busy bee. So that's fantastic. Just a quick little story. Okay? I was digging in trees in the back of my garden, did a bit of digging. And look at that. I dug out a little beautiful little ink pot from, well, it's quite old actually. It's got to be about 1920 or something like that. And while I was digging, I saw a little glint of this little blue and this little purple in the ground. I dug down about a metre. So I'm digging in a lovely acer tree. Those gardeners among you, beautiful acer. And I saw this little, as I said, half brown, half blue. And I thought, what the hell's that? It's quite shiny. So I did a bit more digging carefully. Got out my archaeology guidebook, because I've read that, and looked into speciality way of getting things out. And I dug a bit further, and look what I dug out. Look at that. A perfect little plate. Now, I looked at it right, and on it, it's got morn. Now, obviously, all of us know morn isn't really used that often. So I looked online, madly, on the back, it's got a little thing. What does it say again? It says Long Park Torquay, okay? So I chased it up, the drawer of the internet. Obviously, baby's plate, perfect for me. Chased it up, and I found out the plate was between 100 and 120 years old. So, yeah, dug it out, beautiful. And I think looking at it, just underneath it, don't be scared, just underneath it, I found a few bones because I thought to myself, I think it's probably a dog's bowl. Somebody used it as a dog's bowl. So underneath, I dug out a couple of dog's bones. It must have been the dog's plate. So I put him back carefully. And I've got a lovely plate. There you go. That'll be going on my wall. Look at that. Beautiful. Everything clean up. So there you go. Beautiful green-fingered attitude from last week. Right, who else has come in? Anybody else? Michael Page, we've seen. Don't be shy, guys. I know a lot of you keep quiet, which we don't like. Get yourselves forward. Be positive. John Perkins, how the devil are you? Right, what did I get to? Yeah, isolation week, week 10. Can't believe it. How are you guys keeping up? You know, what are you getting up to? You must all be madly fit, fitter than hell. That's a good thing with me. I've been doing a lot of running, a lot of cycling and stuff, and even just digging the garden, doing all sorts keeps you really fit and active, so keeping it in there. And doing my warrior training, don't muck around, using both hands all the time, keeping myself fit and healthy, like you got to do. Georgina, how the devil are you? David Greaves, how are you? So I'm keeping up with them today, guys. I'm doing really good. Yeah, so keep positive, guys. I think that's the big thing with all of you. And, you know, obviously the National Health doing a fantastic job. You know, we all know that. But in a sense as well, you know, congratulate yourselves. You know, it's hard work. Those stuck at home on their own, those stuck with kids, driving you nuts all the time. You know, give yourselves a pat on the back. This is hardcore. You know, we've never gone through stuff like this. I mean, I was talking to some older people before about the war. You know, obviously the war was a crazy time where everyone came together. You know, and obviously soldiers going away for like 3 years. They were going away. You know, wife pregnant, coming back 3 years later with a like three-plus-year-old child. Must have been crazy. But again, it all came together. I think that's what's happening now. And, you know, sticking together and sticking home and being positive, I think it is, and use the time to keep yourself active. I think that's the most important thing. You know, keep yourself positive and keep yourself busy. You know, now's your chance, guys, to learn loads of new stuff. I mean, talk about warrior and stuff. There's no reason why you can't get as good with your left hand as you are with your right hand. We talked about nunchucks loads of times. See, look, I'm a professional, see. I've got these ones. Great for practicing, but when you want to get good with them, I'd suggest getting heavier ones. Because those who did the nunchuck routine, we'll talk about in a minute, with those, you find they can bounce out your hands. But they're great for practicing, and we use them on the court. If you can use those, you can use anything. So that's the good thing. So, yeah, keep yourself busy, learning new skill. You know, as far as warrior stuff goes, no reason why you can't look up characters, practice different characters. You know, those who are past phase 4 advanced screen combatants, it's your chance to read up and practice up like you would go into work, you know, just as research. You know, get your books. Look, always have my books to hand. Look, Kings and Queens of Britain. Look at that. What a brilliant read. Look at that. See, it's all in there. Interesting stuff. Reading up about Cromwell, actually. Oliver Cromwell. Mad little story, quickly digressing. But obviously he was part of the government who got rid of Charles I, chopped his head off. Then there's obviously no monarch on the throne. And the government obviously controlled the country as such. Anyway, this went on for quite a few years. Charles I's son, Charles II, went into exile out in France, wherever he was. Oliver Cromwell died, and a couple of other guys died, and there are a few other of the government at the time that were still alive. Anyway, when Charles II came back, got crowned king, when he got crowned king, what he did, he basically executed all those guys who got rid of his dad, and also dug up the 3 corpses of those guys that had been dead for about 4 or 5 years, including Oliver Cromwell. Dug his body up, hung, drawn and quartered him in front of Westminster publicly to say, look, this is what you've done for killing my dad. Anyway, what they did with the 3 heads of well, there are actually more heads, but the 3 guys that were dug up, heads were all put on the spikes on the Tower of London. And they're up there for 10 years. And apparently Oliver Cromwell's head blew down off the spike. I think the spike snapped or something in the wind, and someone grabbed his head on the floor. His head was circulating for years. So interesting, again, you know, you read up on stuff like that in the books. Digressing a bit, guys, but all interesting stuff. So, also for me, guys, I've been going on just quickly. Who else has come in? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Aaron Blake, I think, said hi to you. Don't hide, guys. Say hello, whoever's there. Yes, going through boxes, you know, like you do. I moved not too long ago, and I've got loads of boxes full up with rubbish. So I was going rummaging through boxes, and I pulled out stuff. I've got a few things to show you. Look at that little beauty. That was a film called Hamlet, okay? Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. And I doubled Laertes for a big fencing sequence. Weapon was sort of a cross between a rapier and a sabre. Quite a strange weapon we used that was made by an armourer for it. But yeah, we wore these. And it was quite a technical fight. 160 moves, I believe, in the fight. There were like about 8 sections of fight. Rapier and dagger to start. And then it obviously goes single rapier stroke sabre. Anyway, Ken Branagh was directing, obviously starring as Hamlet. And me and the other double, who's no longer with us, he died, sadly, we'd obviously train the actors. I spent most of my time training the actors on all the techniques and everything else. And it was really funny, right? We shot everything with the actors. Actors did the majority of it, got really good. Fair play to them. I doubled Michael Maloney, another thespian actor. Anyway, cut the story short, they did all of their shooting stuff. And Ken Branagh, just to put us on the spot, said, right, tomorrow, what we're going to do, we're at massive, at Shepperton, they built like the Grand Hall. If you get a chance, watch it. The set is phenomenal. They built like this massive palace with all mirrors all across the walls, red carpet, big balustrade going up balcony. And I get thrown off the balcony, actually, and I die in the sequence. All my character was Laertes. But anyway, coming through short, yeah, they had 400 extras. They had all the cast are in, all the crew, everybody's in the hall. And Ken Branagh said, right, what we'll do tomorrow, we want the doubles on a wide shot to do the whole fight. So me and a colleague, Sean, had to do the whole fight in one, which was 160 moves. And obviously it's like, woo, 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 woo. But we nailed it. I mean, there were a couple of moves, a couple of errors, not on my side, obviously, but there were a couple of errors. But other than that, we nailed it. It was 160 moves, very technical. So there you go. Right, also rummaging through, look at that bad boy. There's my helmet from Saving Private Ryan. The end of Saving Private Ryan, I do an air ram in the sort of like French, I think it's a French village. I do like a big explosion air ram. So there's my Saving Private Ryan helmet, look at that. No one knows I've got it, by the way. I'll tell you that. There you go, look at that bad boy. GoldenEye, when I played the Russian soldier, I got killed about 50 million times. Funny enough, in the office, Dan pulled up in the office. He pulled up, I don't know where he got it from, but he pulled up from the Nintendo game because they did a Nintendo GoldenEye game. And what they did, right, they took image of myself and a few of my colleagues that were in it a lot, and they actually computer animated this. And if you play the game, I remember a long time ago, one of my colleagues, a friend was playing it and told me, you see me loads of times. And Dan got a picture, and there's me being shot in the same scene. There's two guards come running forward, and they're both me, and you can shoot both of me. So, spasiba, bajalsta, здравствуйте. See? Been to Russian twice, fluent. What does it mean? I haven't got a clue, but it sounds good. Okay, what else have we got? Here you go. Look at this for fun. This will make you laugh. Look at that. Look at that. The original present from Ray Park. Okay, when the first toys came out, Ray Park buys me this. Oh, we got given this actually, and gave me one of them. Okay, and funny enough, he said to me, "Do you want me to sign that?" I said, "No, I don't want you to ruin it. Don't sign it." Anyway, I think I said this before on the Star Wars thing. See all these buttons here? Why are all the buttons here? I hear you ask. Because all the other lightsabers had been taken by the actors, etc. And we didn't have one for Ray long enough. And the one that let me put it down, the one that they had was really small, the only one left. It was like that. You couldn't do anything. You know, in reality, you'd be burning the side of his body because the blades kept touching him all the time. So what they ended up doing, they didn't know what to do. So they ended up like sticking two together. So they got two of these single ones, put them together. But somewhere along the line, they forgot to take the buttons off. That's why it's got 4 buttons. There you go, just by magic. So yeah, looking through my looking through the boxes, finding loads of stuff like you do. Anybody else coming, guys? Don't be shy. Right, where are we? Right, what else? Right, shouts. Nunchuck routine. I gave you the task of the nunchuck routine. Hey, Jason, good to see you, mate. Nunchuck routine, brilliant effort. Okay, loads of guys came forward with that one, and that's what we want. Like I said, don't care about the speed. Speed comes. Some of you are really good. You know, some of you are fair play. Some of you doing my routine as well, the routine I showed you, and added your own bits on it. You know, which is great. That's what it's about. You know, take what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is your own. Great saying for the great late Bruce Lee. So again, do that. You know, you've got all those moves. You can add them in. So come the nunchuck routine. I remember a couple of guys on the last talk were talking about the ninja for phase 4. Again, you've got the routine I've done online after you do phase 3. Take parts of that routine. Take parts of this routine that I've done now. Add them together and add a bit of your own. And there you go. You've got a perfect routine. You will be doing a 20-second, minimum 20-second demonstration with the nunchucks on your own. Okay, as a solo. Because it's one of the routines you do both characters. One has a katana and nunchucks. The other has twin wakasashis, short like katanas. So you're going to do both sides of the fight. So there you go. There's no excuses for that. So make sure it's good. But a brilliant effort. Jessica, your name's popped up. You spring to mind. Your little team four that you did. You, Catherine, Beth, and Michael. Well done. Great little 4 shot. I was impressed with that. Don't forget, I do watch them, guys. There you go. Catherine, you come on. I'm very well. Thank you very much. Good nunchuck routine. Impressed. So, yeah, putting your own spin on things, guys, is brilliant. That's all very well copying, but take bits and always add your own, which is great. So I was really impressed with that. Loads of guys come together. Dan in the office, the wondrous Dan, is going to cut together a little nunchuck warrior routine, and we'll whack that up, guys, of using all bits of you. So that'd be nice. You know, it's just a bit of feedback from you guys, but well done for doing it. Not an easy routine, technical. You all found behind the back is hard, okay? But like anything, with persistence, you get it, okay? So just do it, and that's it. I used to practice a lot on just techniques. I think, can I do that? Can I do that? It's like riding a bike. You just persist, and suddenly you can do it. And it's amazing what you can do if you put your mind to it. And you've all shown it now by that routine. So no excuses whatsoever. Okay, and an important thing, guys, is obviously not letting your standards drop. And I have seen it. I'll put people on the spot, well, not individually, but generally, coming to work and also on different things that we've done through BAA. I've seen people's standards drop. There's no excuses. Okay, whatever level you're at, you're representing the academy at that standard. So if you're letting yourself drop and you're taking on jobs, you know, don't even bother, because you shouldn't be taking on jobs if you're not up to scratch. So keep your skills set up, you know. It's like anything, it's like fitness. You know, if you let it go, it's hard to build back up again. Don't let it drop. Just keep practicing. Keep yourself adaptable, you know, all the time. So let's make sure that happens. Right, what else have I got in my little Hong Kong Book of Kung Fu list. Let's have a look. Right, about this chat, guys. Again, by popular demand, it's lovely to interact with you guys. This is really one that covers anything, really. Anyone wants to talk about my career? I know we did a Star Wars one. I've had a great career. You know, I've been very fortunate, very lucky. Yes, I've worked hard, but it's a bit of luck and a bit of dedication that come in together. And it is about passion, which all you guys have got. And it's been the forerunner of the BAA and a forerunner in my career. My dad drilled that into me. You know, passion, you've got to be dedicated. Dedication is something that, you know, gets you forward in life in general, in everything, I think. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to finish waffling, a few more bits. We'll just go through a couple of bits I've got of interest for you guys. And then obviously it's over to you guys to ask me whatever you want to, and the floor's open. Let's have a look at some of the questions coming in while they're there. Jason, how the devil are you? You want my GoldenEye hat? No chance. God. It's funny, I dig out loads of different things. You think, oh my God. Got a few things behind me. See behind me this side, the Borrowers. Doubled the lead guy, I can't remember his name, the lead guy, and also doubled the dad in the Borrowers, and that's all like safety clips and everything else. And that was a crazy job because it was sort of early days of CGI, and they would build like they would build sets with ceilings and everything else, and certain items in there were massive, like massive light bulbs or massive part of a kitchen, big clock or timer clocks, and all the rest would be green and blue. Yeah, it was really bizarre, and that's when they were CGing the dad in the opening sequence when he's sort of in the kitchen. They CG'd his body, his face, and everything on me, and it's really strange. So yeah, got that for the Borrowers. That was really cool. Over there, I've got that. Anyone know where that comes from? Anybody? Okay. If you look at, there's a sequence between Maximus and Proximo in the Colosseum having a chat about how the glory of going out and everything else. It's on the windowsill. So it's actually made solely, it's Achilles. It was made solely for that. And they gave it to me on the film. The production designer gave it to me. So that's lovely. So that's a real luxury. It's a one-off. So they broke the mold. So like me, really, they broke the mold. But anyway, what else we got? Let's have a listen. Jessica, hi, GoldenEye, Andreas, an award-winning fire stunt on it. What fire stunt was award-winning? Yes, I did. That's one of our horrendous fire jobs. Right, I don't talk about this one, but I'm going to because you brought it up. Right, myself and a colleague, there's a bit in the sequence where Bond's got a pen. I don't know if you remember, and I'm one of the soldiers that captures him and brings him down to see the geeky guy. I'm not sure who was with the glasses. And he grabs Bond's pen and he clicks it. It's a detonator. And he keeps clicking it, going, it's armed, it's unarmed, it's armed, it's unarmed. And Bond's trying to keep, he's got his hands behind his back, so we're holding him, me and another stunt colleague. Anyway, he clicks it, arms it, whatever, and Bond like kicks the pen up in the air and it goes into the raft. It's supposed to be like all nitrogen, all this nitrogen blows up and everything else. So then obviously we cut, myself and a colleague get ready to do a full burn. Obviously we're, you know, layered up to the nines, ready to do a long burn. When I mean a long burn, we talk about a minute, potentially been on fire for around about a minute. So you're a bit like a Yeti, and I've never liked it. Anyway, this particular job, they decided to put liquid, I'm trying to think what it was actually, trying to remember, like a paraffin or petroleum or something. It was liquid fire in containers above us. So the great idea was that they would light that and then they would drop them as tip tanks. We've got liquid fire falling all over us, so we would completely be ablaze. Sounded great. Now, while we were doing other sequences in prep for this, someone somewhere had said, I tell you what, let's put a bit more liquid in there, make it really good, okay? And that computer room is quite a confined set that leaves them, and it only had 2 doorways in. So myself and my colleague, we obviously practiced what we were going to do. You know, I'm going to go here, I'm going to bump into this, I'm going to fall on the floor, I'm going to get up, blah, 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 whatever you're going to do. He did his as well. When we're ready and finished, obviously lying on the floor, putting your arms out, having your legs straight, like that, ready, I'm finished, I want you to put me out. All great. So, turnover, 3, 2, 1, action. These tip tanks drop, liquid fire's lit, the tip tanks release. God, there was so much liquid on it. It's like being hit in the head with a sledgehammer. So me and my colleague both get knocked to the floor. The liquid fire hits the floor, starts rolling up the walls. So this whole room is on fire, all going up into the rafters. Oh, God, it's a nightmare. And the 2 doors where you get out are completely blocked. Anyway, did all that we could. We kept falling over and bumping into things. It was really slippy. Did the job that I was supposed to do, lay down on the floor like that, and obviously I'm ready. And nothing happens. And I'm starting to get hot. And it's nothing worse. But, you know, I've done my job. And unfortunately, my safety guys couldn't get into me because it was so much fire and both the doorways were full of fire. And then it just got into a bit of mayhem and all I could see was fire everywhere. So I tried to get up and I tried to move around to get vision of what I'm doing. By this time, I've been on fire quite a long time. And because your adrenaline goes, there's fire suits now that you can get like cylinders inside, breathing cylinders, small ones that you can put underneath here. So you have breathing cylinder, like diving, exactly the same. So you can constantly breathe and you're fine. But in the day, and still used today by a lot, you have a tube in your mouth, you take a deep breath, and that's it until they put you out. Oh, that's fallen down. That's my little sign, don't worry. So anyway, cutting story short again, yeah, I've done my bit. And as I said, so I get up and I'm starting to get hot now. And it's like a thermos flask going out to in. You're going to start to get very hot very quickly. So I'm trying to look around through the fire. Luckily, I caught a glimpse of what looked like my safety guy through the flames. Anyway, I head towards him. So I go out through the doors. He ends up trying to put me out. Stop, get down, 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 down. But he bumped into me, and I remember setting his fire suit on fire. So he's on fire. I'm obviously on fire. He's on fire. The fireman's trying to put him out. He's trying to put me out. It's a bit of a comedy. So I'm lying down on the floor. By this time, I'm out of oxygen. I started to breathe, and I remember breathing in, and I burned all the inside of my mouth. And I got a burn on the back of my leg where it burned through my fire suit. So that was horrible. There's nothing worse than that. And I would never, anybody who works for me in that capacity doing a fire burn, that would never, ever happen. It's the worst case scenario. You are totally claustrophobic. You're totally in someone else's hands. So, yeah, you just reminded me of that. It's a job I don't really want to remember. And funny enough, right, it was so horrific, they didn't use it in the film. They cut the whole sequence out of the film. Anyway, I digressed. So I'm not sure about the award ones, what that would have been. That might have been, I think it might have been combined with that, because other guys did a few little fire or a few burns, falling down the ladder, and in the computer room. So I don't know exactly where that was. But anyway, there you go. Not a very nice story. I love nunchucks. Jessica, beautiful. Tanguy, what was your job on set? Hold on, we've lost you a bit to the side. Put you over a bit. What was my very first job on set? Wow. Okay, it was for a safety video, funny enough, like construction, working on a construction site. Great job. 60 feet up on a girder. And these two actors are walking around a factory saying, look at those electric cables, he could burn himself. Oh, look at this, he could get damaged. Oh, look at the floor, wet on the floor, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they come to mine, and I'm a worker, so I'm up on this girder 60 feet up. They put an airbag below me, and I'm obviously cabled off, but it doesn't look like I'm cabled off. So I'm leaning forward on the scaffolding, fiddling, doing this, that, and the other. And I always remember the lines of the actors. This is my first ever job. Great. They're both looking up, and they go, look at that guy up there. God, he's really dangerous. What does he think he is, a stuntman or something? That was really funny. He said, one little slip, and I end up slipping. I fall. I drop about 9 foot. I've got a static rope on me, and obviously I just hang below. And you see me going, ooh, 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 like that. And then I climb back. So it's quite a nice first job. And I remember I had the airbag below, and it was 60 feet up. And it's the first time, obviously, my first job. And I said to the coordinator, because everyone had sort of gone and moved on to something else. And I said, look, can I use I've not used an airbag at this point. I've never used one. So I said, can I do a fall into the airbag? While I'm up. He went, oh, no, it's not professional. It's not professional. I thought, that would be great just to do it. Anyway, I did it afterwards. There you go, first job, Tanguy. Great fun. I've actually got a video somewhere of it. But, yeah, that was quite good fun. Peter Sycamore, how are you? Do you have any weapons or any other interesting props you were able to keep from film sets? Seem to remember Alex Reed showing a couple of prop weapons, shields, etc. Right, whatever I've got, nobody knows I've got them. That's all I'm going to say. But on a lot of shows I do, funny enough, people tend to throw things my way. So I have a few things. That's all I'll say. It's amazing. They just seem to land in my lap, People just want to give things away. But a lot of things on film sets obviously belong other rights to the company, especially things like Star Wars. So not that I've ever seen anything leave Star Wars and landed in my lap, but if it should have done, it's Star Wars property, which is now Disney's property. So if anything should come up, like that lightsaber, if that's Rey's one, for instance, they own the rights to that because they bought over Lucasfilm. So it's their property. So all I'll say is whatever I've got or whatever you people may have from film sets, keep it to yourself. That answers that one. Zoolander, Daryl, how are you? What made you... God, I've got to slide you over. Sorry, guys. Where are you? What made you want to get into stunt work. I mean, to be honest, mate, I always loved action from a kid. I used to watch the films when I was a kid, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd. I used to watch like the cartoon of Spider-Man when that first came out. I used to watch everything, and I used to go outside and practice all of it, and I loved it. It was something that I loved doing it, and I used to mimic a lot of the stunts, but I didn't know how to do it, or it was sort of one of those things that's untouchable. You know, you're never going to do it. You know, you can think about it. And then when I was in school, funnily enough, I was away pretty much all of my 5th year. I was in a breakdance team touring Europe, you know, with a breakdance team, professional breakdance at the time. And so I was away most of the time. I got my parents, because I was under 16, had to get a government letter to say allow me to go abroad, and I think they gave me 3 months or something, and I ended up staying nearly 6 months abroad. And my parents got a letter from the government saying if your son's not back in 14 days, we come and arrest you. So anyway, it's a brilliant experience for me. So I remember coming back towards the end of the year, and there was a careers lesson, and the careers teacher was a bit of an arse. Goes, okay, people, what do we want to do when we leave school then? What do we want to do? So I put my hand up, and he goes, Petrini's. I said, I'd like to be a stuntman in the movies. He said, shook his head. Right, the idiot did, didn't he? No, actually, you need a degree in physics and a degree in mathematics to be a professional stuntman. And I thought, really? Okay, I'm never going to do that then, am I? So I forgot about it. Then, luckily, because I'd done a lot of martial arts and acrobatics, I was doing movies, playing ninjas and doing all different action-y martial arts as a fighter. I met some guys told me about the stunt register. So I said, I'd like to be a stuntman, blah, blah, blah. I'd never heard of stunt register at all. Obviously, didn't have internet or anything. So I didn't know. And they told me about it and said, you know, you join the stunt register, you need to be like counter level at 6 sports. And I thought, well, I've got a few of the sports already. I thought, great. So I inquired, and luckily I obviously worked on, I remember that particular show. And they educated me on it, and then I just followed the path. And I thought, do you know what? Because I was ready when I checked into it. I was ready for this degree in physics and degree in mathematics. Thinking, well, you know, I won't be able to do it, but I'll just have a look. I mean, this is the madness. Just a quick one on that, guys. Just a funny story. How in life, you know, that careers guy was a goal in my life to prove wrong. Because when I'd really established myself, I think I'd done a few Bond films. I think it was when I'd done Star Wars and a lot of feature films by that time. And I remember I thought, right, I'm going to show that guy. And a friend of mine lived just up the road from my school. So I'd arranged to go and see my friend, and I knew that he was still at the school. He was there forever. And I thought, I'm going to go and see him. So I went to see my friend, we had a cup of tea, dressed up really smart, and thought, right, I'm going to go and see him. So I drive my car to the school, parked up my car, got myself ready, all ready to see him, to say, look, you know, don't tell kids they can't do what they want to do. Let them do whatever they want to do, because I proved it, you know. And do you know what? I sat in the car and I thought for a moment, and I just thought, do you know what? This guy's not even worth it. Not even worth the time of day. So I literally just drove off in my car. But he was a massive goal to prove him wrong, you know. As another goal was for me, when I was breakdancing, I always remember in my village, a mate of mine came back from America with an old Betamax videotape, showed me the new street dancing, and I could do it and picked it all up, started practicing with him and another mate on the street. And there was some tarmac in the middle of the street that was sliding. That's all we had. And we put waterproofs on, and we just practice. Not a very busy street, but when cars came, we'd stand out the way. And when the cars go, we'd practice spinning and stuff, you know? And I always remember the people in these sort of nearby houses used to laugh at us, used to laugh at me. You know, it's really funny. They walk past and sort of go, ridiculous, and sort of laugh. And then anyway, years later, I won the British Championships, and I became very popular with breakdance, and I was getting all of these gigs. And I started doing a lot of mainstream commercials, and I was on TV, and they interviewed me. And I remember these people, you know, obviously wanting to know me. It was quite nice and satisfying to just ignore them. And I remember you laughing at me. It's like, you know, just desserts. Everyone laughed at you then. They wanted to not laugh at me now, but I remember you laughing at me. So again, giving yourself goals in life is really important. I don't believe in dreams. I think they're unachievable, but goals are achievable. And give yourself those goals. Like I said, proving people wrong has been a big thing in my life. So I think, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. Right, guys, let's have a look. I don't want to miss out on some of you because I've been waffling. Where are we? A few other guys have come in. I'm gone. John Perkins, hi Andreas. What was the film you mentioned earlier with the fencing with 160 moves? Hamlet. Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. It's a boring film. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I went to the premiere, 4 hours. was like, oh my God. And they had an interval at 2 hours. But you know what? I've hurt my back years ago. I was like, oh my God, I can't get out of the chair. 4 hours sitting there watching it. Beautiful sets. If you love Shakespeare, I seem to have done a lot of Shakespeare shows. I'm not a great fan of it. It's great, don't get me wrong, but to sit there for hours and watch it. But it's fantastic. The sets are fantastic. And I think you might be able to see that sequence on YouTube. Just have a look at the fencing sequence. In its capacity, it's a very, very long sequence. And I get thrown off the balcony at the end and die. So have a look at it. John, it's cool. Lydia, how are you? The statue in the back looks like the statue of Talos and Jason the Argonauts. Funnily enough, no, he's not. I mentioned that earlier. He was specially made for Gladiator. He's Achilles. And there's a scene with Russell Crowe and oh God, I've gone mad now. Oh God, lost it. Going completely nuts. Maximus and Proximo are obviously in the Colosseum, and that's behind them on the shelf. Okay, it's actually behind them on the shelf. So that was specially made. They made the mold. They broke the mold afterwards, so it's just one of them. But funny enough, I have got him in my garage. I've got Talos, the original Jason the Argonauts. He's kneeling down on the what do you call it? The jewel box, isn't it? The God's jewel box. So yes, I've got that one as well. Rob Lock, how the devil are you? Hesitant to ask, but what were the silver heels? Right, it's a funny one actually. I said this before. See my lovely silver heels here. These were specially made for me. I had to double a gun on a motorbike, and it was a CB 1100 Honda police bike, which is a massive thing with all the panniers on it, all the lights on it. And I'm not exactly the tallest of guys, as you all know me. And I've got a double a girl. So I've got a silver pencil skirt on, glistening silver pencil skirt, same colour as that, and those bloody heels. And trying to hold up that massive bike. And I've got a stunt girl on the back. Oh, it's a nightmare job, really hard work. And I've got to weave in and out. I'm being chased by the police. These two girls steal the bike. And they're being chased everywhere, up pavements, in and out of cars. Oh, it's a nightmare. Climaxing at the Blackpool Tower, I've got to ride it up the stairs of the Blackpool Tower into the foyer and round the corner. And I remember the coordinator saying this, and I thought he was joking. He goes, yeah, Andreas, what we want to do at the finale, drive it upstairs, into the corridor, and get it round the corner. I was like, yeah. Really? He went, yeah, just go, try and get around the corner. I don't care, just do what you can do. Luckily, I got it around the corner. I was really crumped against the walls. But yeah, the things you do. And the funniest thing with that job, I always remember, I was busting for the toilet. We'd done these big sequences, and I had like a headset on so I could talk to the coordinator. I was busting for the toilet. And we quickly pulled over in between takes, and there was a pub. So I let myself up. I said to the girl, I'll be back in a bit, watch the bike. Leg it into the loo. For the first time in my life, I ran to the toilets and thought, ladies or gents? Ladies or gents? So I went into the gents, and it was so funny. There was this guy standing next to me, and I just walked up to like the pan, hiked up my skirt, standing like this. And you don't really think about it. I just thought, I need it. I'm a man. I need to go to the loo. This guy didn't have a clue. Didn't know I was on a film set, anything. Turned his head round, and literally I saw his head do the double take. And he sort of looked at me and didn't know what to think. And I just looked at him and smiled. And I sort of just finished before he could say anything and buggered off. But yeah, it was quite funny. But not an easy job, hard job. And I hope you like them. David Greaves, did you get more work by the people you know, network, or from the development of your craft and name the business? Right, when I got into the business, mate, I didn't know anybody. Okay, I knew absolutely nobody. And I just literally networked as best I could. Now, the worst thing was, right, when I joined the Stunt Register, they were really terrible and really primitive. It was the equity Stunt Register at the time. And I had a guy there who was assigned to take care of the Stunt Register. So I called him up, obviously talked to him about sending in all my skills. I had a lot of problems, and they knocked me back. Which was lucky actually, because I would have joined the register a lot earlier. I had 7 skills. I had breakdances and miscellaneous. So I had 7 skills, but I didn't have a Philexi card. And I put in all my breakdancing contracts to get me to a Philexi card status, but they didn't accept them as the equity weekly minimum. So they said, bye-bye, you got 6 skills, but go and do some more work. So I was obviously devastated. I didn't know what to do with myself, so it was a bit crazy. I ended up joining the army, to get a lot of training and a lot of skills that would help me and get my mind away from it. So I put a lot of work in on it. And in hindsight, it was better off. I was more experienced in life, more grown up when I actually joined the register. So I didn't know anybody. I knew no one at all. So this guy was really funny. While I was still serving in the army, I got a call from a colleague of mine who used to be in the circus with us, an actor about years ago in the circus. And he knew I wanted to get my Philexi card. And they were doing a summer season circus acrobat stuff. He said, "Can you get out? Do you want to come and do it?" So I pulled a few strings and I said, "Yeah, I'll come and do it." So I managed to nip out and do whenever I could the acrobatic stuff, and basically I got all my contracts signed up. So here I am. But in a nutshell, I sent all my contracts in to him. He accepted them all. And it was like really primitive. Like I said before, answer machines, so you call a lot of times, it would just ring and ring and ring and ring and ring, and you get fed up. Obviously, he's gone out to lunch or he can't be bothered. Anyway, I ended up, got in contact with him. He said, "Yes, we've got all your information. We'll put it forward and we'll let you know at the next committee meeting, which is in about 3 weeks." So I waited till after 3 weeks. And he said he called me, didn't hear anything. Now, my mum was my answer machine at home and she didn't hear anything. She'd let me know. But anyway, then I ended up ringing after that. And I finally got hold of him. And I said, "Hi," I can't remember, Tim, I think his name was. I said, "Hi, Tim, it's Andreas. I'm just checking if my son register stuff's all accepted and stuff." He went, "Yeah, let me just check. He obviously just put the phone there and thought, shit, what I'm going to say. Anyway, he came back and goes, "Oh, yes, you've been accepted. I didn't get a chance to talk to you, you've been accepted." So I said, "When do you need my information to go into the book?" "Well, actually, you've just missed the book." This stupid clown had made me miss going to the Sun Register. It was a publication every 3 years. So, I was like, there's no internet then, so you can't really. So I had to get a page done, similar to that old bad boy. Look at that. There you go, look at that. Right, see that? I haven't changed at all, no? 24 years old, look at that. I did this in LA, I was doing that in LA at the time. And I put the CV on the back. See, all beautiful. That's how it used to be. This is the American way, actually. The Hollywood way was to do that. Face on the front, CV on the back. So I got a load of these printed up, not like this, but mainly British ones. And I just sent them out to every coordinator. And a lot of them would have gone, "No, who gives a shit? I don't really care who he is." But got my first work, and it just got it from word of mouth. So I got more and more jobs through word of mouth, really, which was brilliant. And I just, because it was quite a small community then. I mean, I think there were something like 20 coordinators in the country. That was it, between TV and film. So they all used to talk. So you do a good job, I get called for a motorbike job, do a really good crash on a motorbike, whatever, and he'd call someone else and go, "Oh, you only get in the car?" And again, in my early career, I thought it was great in a car, and you realise the complications. So I went away and did a lot of courses to get me good, because I knew that if I want to do car work and get known in that capacity, you've got to be good. So I went away and did a lot of courses, because they are hard work. So yeah, networking is the best way to do it, mate. I'd say once you're qualified in your capacity as a stunt performer, and I say to a lot of the guys on the register, every few months, just send your CVs to the people, update your skills, send it in. So I'd love to come on set. I'd love the opportunity to meet you. I get them. If I get people just saying, "I'm the best thing since sliced bread, use me," I go, "See you later." But if I get a nice one saying, "Listen, I really respect your work. I'd love the opportunity to come and help you, just help you out on set. Anything you've got," I think, do you know what? Let's put him there and I'll give him a chance when I get a job in. So it's all about being humble. But yes, you need to network, because people do forget. They'll forget you. I hope that answers that one, David. Rob Lock back again. P.S. Just ordered the King's. It's a great read, okay? Interesting, mate. It really is. I love all that. It's just quite nice. And I think the great thing with the industry, some of the shows I've done a lot of historical shows, like King Arthur, Richard III, Richard the Lionheart, Hollow Crown, which is all the Wars of the Roses, Battles of Waterloo. And I just love it. And it's lovely. I sort of stick to these historian guys, which know everything about everything. It is amazing. I love all the history side of it. It's great when you're reenacted becoming these characters, but I love hearing the realism of it. It's amazing, Funny enough, on Gladiator, they had this really geeky guy. He looked like a train spotter. He had a brown satchel and a funny little cap and a blazer. He used to march everywhere. I was like, this is on the opening sequence when we did all the massive big battle at Farnham. And I remember just seeing him bimbling around, and I talked to my guys. "What's that guy?" So he's the historian guy. "Oh, really?" Oh. So anyway, I went over and had a chat with him. He was a real geeky geek, like a professor of the Roman history and everything like that. He knew everything about everything. That was amazing. He was going, "Well, actually, this is the Battle of Germania, the second battle, which was in 82 AD." And he said, "Well, actually, the banners to the Germanians are slightly wrong. They should have had the 7th design logo on there." I was just mad. He knew everything about everything. So it's good when they get them in, and they utilise it. But it's really bad when they try and cut corners on shows and they don't. And the military advising or the history's wrong. But it is quite annoying, because there's no excuses for that. It should be done properly. So there you go. So I hope you like that one, Rob. Where are we? Who have we got to? I hope that answers the Kings and Queens one, which is good that you've got it. I've jumped too far. Oliver Reed, God, Grace, how could I forget Ollie? Bless, but my mind just goes. It's so nervy. It's so exciting. You'll forgive me. Max, how the devil are you? Good to see you, mate. Good to see I liked your lightsaber. I like the fact you left in the bit when you couldn't get it out. I think that was hilarious. Good skills. But you did it. You proved you could do it. Hi, Grace. What's been your proudest moment on set? Oh, God, I don't know. I think that's the thing. People say to me a lot, what's your favourite job or whatever? And I don't know, because some of them are for the location, some of them are for the fun I've had, some of them are the technicality on the job. I don't know, but I think luck and fortunate and passion, because I did like a conveyor belt of films. I was getting called in to do like sort of big gags on different films. And, you know, it's your mission to go in there and nail it. And I think it's the worst pressure, but it's the best pressure to have all your peers as a stunt team all around watching you, and you're the guy that's been called in to do a big gag, and you've got to get it right. So it gives you that extra pressure. And I think that each time I've nailed it, you know, it is a proud moment. And you can always think to yourself, you know, maybe I could have done it better. And I always look back at the video and think, could I have done that better? Could I have gone a bit quicker? Should I have taken off a little later? And that's, you know, perfectionist is a great thing to be. And we never quite reach it, but we always try to reach it. And it's great when you can push the boundaries on stuff. When you come up with an idea and someone says to me, I don't know, just springing to mind. I remember I did a bike lay down for a road traffic commercial, and they wanted me to lay a bike down. I think it's a kiddie opens a car door on me, and I swerve around it and I drop the bike. I used to have it in one of those showreel things, BAA. Anyway, it's quite technical. And I did the first take, and I came in at about 40 mile an hour, wet the road a bit, pumped up the back tyre as big as I could, swerved around this door that opens up just before me, and then obviously I used the back brake and laid the bike down as you would. And the funny thing was, when I lay it down, okay, the bike sort of slid quite a long way. They had cars either side, but it's quite a long run. I had a good run, so I didn't have to worry about hitting anything. The bike started to slide and started to turn a little bit on the first take. Anyway, I got up, fine, it looked great, they loved it. The director goes to me, do you know what? He said, is there any way you can make the bike completely spin round and do a 360? And I've not done that before. And I thought, well, there's no reason why I can't. So I just had to think and calculate myself and think, right, I'll go in more speed, I'll do a bit more banana, I'll leave the back brake on longer. Okay. And what they did as well, I got a bar welded on the side. I got that first to stop the friction from the bike. So you get like a bar that you can't see welded on, so it will slide along on the bar, not taking up friction on the bike. And it helps keep your leg off the road as well, otherwise you get your leg trapped on the bike. So anyway, this is where you got to work. And I had to go away on my own and just think and calculate. And a lot of it comes just from experience, I think, you know. You just feel it. And if it feels good, it is good. So I came in faster, and I remember I did a lovely banana around, delayed my banana as much as I could, so I turned off, hit the back brake, kept the back brake on, all the way when I was even on the ground, started to spin, and I knew I'd nailed it. And I did just over a 360, and then they did a separate shot of the bike hitting a lamppost, which they dragged it into a lamppost. And it's about think bike, you know, think about bikes, don't just open your door on a motorbike. So I remember that was a proud moment. So I think when I'm tested and put under pressure and you come up with the goods, and it's one of those ones, could I have done it again as good? I don't know. But how many guys could have nailed that? Not many. And that's the good thing with some of the jobs you do when you've nailed it and not many people can do it. And that's a proud moment. So I think, you know, there's been no pinnacle in my life. And no awards and trophies I'm not really interested in, you know. That's all luck and judgment. A lot of people win awards for the wrong things and also rans. And I don't know, you know, I think that personal achievements are my pride in my career. You know, that I'm most happy with is where you can just sit to yourself and think, you know what? I mean, I remember I went to a cinema and saw a film, and I was with a girlfriend, and I knew, I didn't say anything, and I just watched it, and the crowd, all the cinema went, oh, bloody hell, with the gag I'd done. It's just quite nice when you look around and think, you know what? I've done my job there. I don't need to tell anybody, you know, and it's just self-satisfaction, I think, is the big thing. So I hope that answers that. Grace. Ewan, how are you? Hi, Andreas. What is your favourite sort of work? High falls. Listen, mate, I love all of it. It's quite funny. I love the variety. I mean, I always love lots of sports, like I suppose a lot of us do. I loved a lot of sports, and this business has allowed me to utilise my skill set in a lot of sports. I mean, I raced motorbikes, which I loved. I raced go-karts for a while, which obviously evolved into cars, and I did a lot of car courses, which I love. Crashing cars, turning over cars. It's got excitement in car chases. High falls, great rush and high falls, working them out. But I say the technicalities of that, high falls are okay, anything up to sort of 60, 70 feet. When you go above that, if you get it wrong, you get seriously hurt. And a lot of people have. It's quite a big jump between like 60 feet and 80, 90 feet. You're a lot more airtime, and it can, a few of my colleagues have been injured. You've got to work your way up. And whenever I'm doing high falls, I always practice if I can at lower heights and work my way up to it. A good proud one was I did an 80-foot backfall from a cherry picker. And I remember the coordinator said to me, "Can you do it?" And what they wanted, it was originally a backfall. This woman gets pushed by her husband and she falls off a pier. So they made the cherry picker look like the pier, shot it from down below, quite low, and she's quite high up on this quayside. So I did a smaller fall from the quayside, and then I did a high one from a cherry picker. Cherry picker, I did first one at 40 foot, second one at 60 foot, and then I said I'm fine to do it, and we did it at 80 feet. But I remember saying to the coordinator, "Do you know what? Why don't I do a back one and a quarter somersault? That looked really cool. Never done that before. Never seen it done before from that sort of height." So again, that was a proud moment. That, it was pitch black when we did it. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I remember looking over my shoulder. I had a colleague, actually, I won't mention his name, a colleague holding the radio in the basket, and he was sort of thinking, I wouldn't do this. I remember looking down, there's a little like spotlight on the airbag, like 80 foot below, and standing with my feet over the edge, had the bar there, okay, and you hear the radio, and it's the maddest thing. Any of your colleagues in my business know, very, very lonely moment when they say, and 3, 2, 1, action. You're on your own. It's very lonely, the build up to that. And I always remember standing there, and I practiced that I just tilt my head back a tiny bit and just keep like a really laid out, and just tilted my head back. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I remember tilting my head back and just falling into blackness. But I was confident from 60 foot, and I knew I'd just tilted my head a little bit less than I did on the 60 foot, and I landed in the bag beautiful. And I'll be honest with you, I would have gone straight back up to 100 foot, not tilted my head so far, and I would have done it immediately. Maybe a little bit higher with confidence, because it's confidence in the equipment and confidence in your ability. That was a good one, because I'd nailed it and no one had done that before. So I think that was, those sort of moments are good moments. Who we got to? So favourite sort of work? I love all of it, mate. I can't say. I love it. I love all of it. And I've worked in every capacity. From wires is great, fires, been exciting, underwater drowning sequences. I've crashed speedboats, I've crashed skidoos. I've been air-rammed over things, through things, jumped across trains, jumped from roofs of cars, been knocked over cars and trucks, and that goes on and on and on. So I just love the variety. Doer of many, master of none, and that's what I've always said. But taking the same positivity and that same confidence and aggression to each stunt to do the best that you can. So I hope that answers that one. Jason, will we ever see you break dance? Maybe. See, I've still got it. What tree? Ready. See, there you go. Never lose it, mate. You never lose it. Maybe one day I'll show you. Grace, I second this. Would love to see. Okay, well, maybe. I can't remember I did it at one of the guys' weddings once, I remember. And they go, come on. And I hadn't done it for years. This is going back quite a long time. I hadn't done it for years. And they kept going, come on. He's going to do it. And I just thought, oh, sorry, let's just do it. And it's really funny how you have set, like fighting, you have set sequences that you do. And these particular sequences I hadn't done in God knows how long, I don't know, 10, 12 years or something stupid. And I don't know, the music got going and the big crowd got going. I'm like, oh, here we go, God. Went out to the floor, started doing all the footwork stuff, blah, blah, blah. Started going into all my low-down footwork. And I remember I did loads of footwork, loads of like swipes. And I remember I jumped myself, stood back up again, started doing loads of up-rocking. I used to be able to jump straight onto my back and do backspins without my hands touching the floor. I'd do the backspin, I'd go up into a head spin, and then I'd jump up and could land really cool. And I thought, let's have a go. Anyway, I remember all the crowd going, blah, blah, blah. No drugs, no alcohol. I don't do that sort of thing. Just pure adrenaline. I'm a good boy. Mummy trained me well. Anyway, I remember just thinking, shit, go. While I'm doing the kick around, saying, let's just go for it. Anyway, got back up, did a few kicks, jumped onto my back, span, felt really good. Loads of windmills, loads of back spins, went up onto my head, pushed up as I used to, and I landed perfectly like that, right next to my mate who was standing there, the groom. And it couldn't have been better. It was like, oh, thank God for that, I nailed it. If I did it again, I would have fell on my arse. But anyway, that was great. So happy times, but I won't be doing that in front of you guys. My legs will fall off. Catherine, I go by, if dream has a plan, it's a goal. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you know, the idea of dreams, but I just think dreams are unachievable, you know, and I think it's nice to set goals. I always set goals. You know, I have goals with the academy. I have goals with my career. I have goals with my garden. You know, you've got to have goals on it, you know. Like goals like your nunchuck routine, you guys all nailed it. And it's like, you've got to have a goal saying, I'm going to do that, then you've got to do it. But I think a lot of things, it's like training. You know, like I've got a mindset in my head, okay, different my career before, but my mindset is tomorrow morning, I'm going for a run. Okay, I'm going for a 6-mile run tomorrow morning. Now, whatever the weather is, if it's snowing, it's blowing a hoolie, it's torrential rain, I'm going. And that's what you've got to do. Not open that door and go, it's a bit cold. Let's try again tomorrow. A lot of people have that attitude, don't. Just flipping do it. And that's what you've got to do. If you take something on, just nail it, give it 100%. So I hope that's good positivity. Grace, Ollie Reed, yes, I blew it. Sorry, Ollie, lovely guy. Daryl, yes, Andreas, we all want to see you. Oh, no, you're all doing it now. Oh, my God. My legs will fall off. Right, Jules, how are you? Oh, here we go. Where are we now? I missed out Aaron. Aaron, what martial arts have you found most beneficial for weapons training for films like Star Wars? I don't know, mate. I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is a big thing, and I've met guys, you know, in a similar way. Whatever training you've got, once you've got a passion and you've got videos to watch and weapon skills to watch and weapons to learn, you can just adapt your repertoire, you know? I mean, I started off, my first things, my dad taught Shotokan karate. I mean, you want me to do that now? No chance. You know, because I've evolved so much. But I took pieces from that, the discipline from that, the grounding from that, then going into contact fighting, taking that realism of that I can take into characters. Now, when you're getting punched in the face, you know what it's like. And when you're going to punch someone, you know you've got to put your body behind it. Doesn't mean you have to do that from your side, but that's your mindset. You've got to want to kill someone, and you've got to believe it and put your whole body behind it. So I like that. That helped me. And then obviously fencing. That, you know, I always used to think when I was fencing, you know, that in reality, one mistake and you're dead. Because I used to hate the right of way law, you know. Like, you know, if he beats my blade and he comes to lunge at me and I lunge and stab him through the stomach, but yet he lunges me, it's like, oh, I get the point. I was right of way. In reality, my blade is straight through your stomach. So I used to not like things like that. I know there are rules for sport, but I used to like the realism of it and thinking, God, what would it be like to have some guy with a razor-sharp blade in front of me, you know, dueling to the death? Slightly different animal. And I've tried to take that to characters, and I think of that. So my suggestion to you guys is when you're playing like a character, you've got to believably become that character with your own stamp on it. You're a trained killer, and that guy's trying to kill you. And that's what you've got to bring to the table. So I think it's just a mixed repertoire. I love anything. I mean, mixing with different guys. I mean, you know, a lot of guys, you obviously know I'm involved in Star Wars. Ray Park, very good, came from wushu background, love Kung Fu, love Bruce Lee, love Jackie Chan. Watched like every movie, and together we used to laugh and joke at all the movies we'd watched. And he'd go, oh, have you seen that movie? And I'd go, oh, no, I haven't. You've got to see that movie. And I'd say to him, like, have you seen that movie? He'd go, oh, no, I haven't. So we'd add to each other's repertoire, and we'd always practice things, and he'd do something. I think, oh, that looks really cool. What about if you did this? And when you can bounce off each other, I'm sure you guys do it, but that's the best. And I've had the privilege of working with a lot of people around the world, a lot of the best in different martial arts, you know, and you see what it's like. I remember doing a film with the world champion Muay Thai guy. He was Thai, he was from South Africa. Oh, mate, he was, you know, you want to hit someone, you know, I sort of think, you know, I've got fairly strong, like, you know, my shins and elbows are fairly, mate, when you fight these guys, Jesus Christ, he was like rock. He was literally like an iron bar. And he's used to knocking people out. And when I was sparring with him, Jesus Christ, he used to hurt. It's like, oh, because he's used to hitting tree trunks all the time. He had all calluses all down his here because he's used to doing that all the time. And just digressing a little bit, but I did this film with him, and it was a sort of a film. At the end, a lot of different fighters fight against this one character. A bit like the Game of Death, Bruce Lee fights all these different characters in a ring. Anyway, so we had different sort of styles of martial arts. So it was good as the fight arranger to create all the different styles. But this guy is one of the second to last, the Thai boxer guy. fights against this American actor who'd done a bit of freestyle kickboxing. You know, he was okay. Anyway, the Muay Thai guy's obviously used to knocking people out. He's not really worked in film much. So I've got to tell him about camera angles, tell him about, you know, slowing bits down, you know, between sections. Don't just barrage, you know, take your time, act, work with each other. Anyway, we did the first take, and this is no lie, right? We did the first take. The Thai guy comes in and does like a barrage of moves, kicks, punches, you know, really working the actor backwards, knocks him back, finalising with, punches him in the stomach, jumps up in the air and does an elbow to the top of his head. That was the acting. And the camera's going down low at the side of the stage as it was. Anyway, so we were all hyped up, yet ready to go, take it easy, first take, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I see the Thai guy's eyes come up and open up like this when he's going like this, and action. And he goes in like a flipping lunatic, jumps up in the air and knocks the actor clean out. Elbows him straight on the head. Actor's gone, mate. Not funny, because for the rest of the sequence, and this was like day one, I think, of like a week of fighting, the actor didn't want to know. They didn't really worry. You can imagine. But the Thai guy just got into the zone and just overdid it and knocked him out. So, yeah, that wasn't fun. But, hey, he was hard as nails fighting him. And you learn a lot from guys like that. Okay, where are we? I hope that answers that one. So a mixture of everything, mate, is what I've always been. You know, a mixture of anything. There's no, if I was to say one particular style that's emphasized, no, I wouldn't. I'd say, like the Bruce Lee saying, taking a lot of different things that I like from different techniques and different styles, you know, and add it together. With the confidence that if you pick up a weapon, with practice, I can use anything. And that's what you guys work towards, you know, as an advanced screen combatant. That's what you want to be. Jules, how are you? What's your favourite routine you've performed? God, another one, mate. It's difficult. Star Wars was great for the glamour and stuff. I mean, the thing I didn't like about Star Wars was, you know, I was under the spotlight from, you know, they wanted to do things their way. And this can happen a lot. And I've always said, right, I think my favourite performance stroke fighter range of things have been when I've been directing and I've been performing in one. Because I don't have to answer to anybody. I do it the way I want to do it. You know, so I'm the director and I'm the performer. And I've seen that with a lot of actors. I saw it with Mel Gibson on Braveheart. I've seen it with Ken Branagh with Hamlet. When the actors are in charge, they just fly. And they were both very good, you know, very, very good. And those films were both good because of that, because they're very passionate. And for me, it is so, yeah, being emphasised with Star Wars, there was a lot of pressures from above. I mean, I hated the desert fight. I really didn't want to know that. And, you know, I didn't want to do it that way. And you're told how to do it. I've got a job to do with fight range. I've got to do it. But I hated it. The way the Jedi and the Sith meet. It's just instead of standing off, I wanted to do it like samurai. You know, Darth Maul could come off his speeder, do like an Arabian, whatever he does off the speeder, land, sort of get his lightsaber up, come into a mad pose, and they just look at each other. And then they could like move around each other, you know, stand off, you know, a bit like spaghetti western. That's what I wanted. But anyway, it's not up to me. So I think I've done a few things where I've been in charge of it, and it's been great. I did a thing called Colosseum, which was a lovely thing. I play a character. I think it's on YouTube. They've used it a lot in schools as gladiatorial fight. I play a gladiator. Obviously, I choreograph all the fights throughout the show, but I ended up training the actor, and I play a gladiator fighting him at his evening dinner. He goes there thinking he's the guest to be entertaining. He's not. He is the entertainment fighting me. And that was a great fight because I got to choreograph it. I got to perform it. I directed it, and it looks great. It looks lovely. It's how I want it to be. So another thing, Grace, going to a proud moment. Now that looked nice. It was how I wanted it to be, and it's great. And he did really well because I got the time to work with him. And I did another thing, a Pirates thing about Blackbeard, which again, I play a little character on that. I choreographed all the fights. I was second director on it. So you can do stuff how you want to do it, which I love, you know. So when I play characters, it's quite nice to do when you're choreographing it and you're playing the character and you're in charge of the action. It's quite nice to do. I mean, I did a little thing, I think last year or year before last, I did a little fight on a thing called Bounty Hunters. I play like this sort of assassin with all these tattoos, and I fight the lead actress in a lift shaft. Again, for me to choreograph it all, I was pretty much in charge of how we're going to direct it as well. So it was great. You know, that was real fun to do. So I think they are fun where you're in control of it. So they are my favourite jobs. You know, although other ones are fun, but you're doing what you're told. Stephen, hello. The young karate kid, Daniel LaRusso. You handsome devil. Is that who you think I look like, eh? Daniel LaRusso. God, I bet he's old now, isn't he? God, he's older than me. God, and I'm only 29. Amazing, isn't it? You're all laughing, I can tell. Right, what have we got now? Via email. Lydia, how do you feel How do you feel fighting scenes in film have changed from early cinema to modern cinema? And was there a film which changed how it was shown, or was it a gradual process? Okay, I see. So maybe I'm in denial. I need glasses. Am I in denial? No, I'm not in denial. I'm sorry, I don't need them. Lydia, so I think fundamentally they haven't changed. Choreography, if you like, is the same in a fight as it's been from Buster Keaton's time. And he was a legend. I used to love all the stuff he did. And he was an acrobat. It came from the live show with his mum and dad. As a little kid of about like 6, he used to do like live shows. And the funny thing was, like, just digressing, his mum and dad used to like beat him up on stage, slap him, and he'd do all these mad falls, grab him by his hair and fry him all over the place. And that was all part of the gag. So he was doing falls from like 6 years old. But fundamentally, I think it hasn't changed. Technology has come in. And I think the problem with all the technology, everybody's like, oh, CGI, let's make it look amazing, let's make it look absolutely fantastic. But they're losing the story. And I think that's the big thing with productions in general today. It's all about loads of guns being fired, loads of fire, loads of explosions, loads of car chases, but they're losing the story. And if you look back, and I mean, I think if you go back to a lot of the classic films, I don't care about the action is not great. And I don't really care about the sets don't look great. They're fantastic stories. And I think that's the problem today. You could potentially bring back, I mean, I asked you, why don't they do a film about the Black Knight, okay? Edward the Black Prince. I mean, he was a legend. Who else have you got? Why don't they do a Boudica film? I mean, she's great, as in, you know, there's so many films they could do. They could do a Genghis Khan, bring him back. They could do an Alexander the Great, you know, properly do these films. You've got a fantastic story, and you just make it great. CG, you know, is, I don't know, and effects and everything else is taking over stories, and stories are the important thing. So I think there's nothing, I mean, people mentioned to me about like Jackie Chan. The big thing with Jackie Chan, I love Jackie Chan, I've had the opportunity of working with him. He's a great guy, I always loved him when I was younger. Now, Jackie Chan's career took off. He started doing a lot of traditional Kung Fu movies. Then he played a little bit at being Bruce Lee, or the Bruce Lee character, like pretending to be Bruce Lee, or they'd do I don't know, exit the dragon into the bloody, I don't know, zebra, or whatever they're going to do. And then Jackie Chan did a few of these, and it didn't really work. And really, Jackie Chan came to his, you know, how we know him by bringing the comedy in. And he used a lot of the slapstick from Buster Keaton with his martial arts. And again, being in control of the action, directing. Very early on, he started directing stuff. And it's amazing. So he added all that slapstick. And a lot of people hadn't seen a lot of the gags from Buster Keaton's time, that Jackie Chan would bring them back. And he'd introduce a lot of his own. So if it wasn't for the comedy element, who knows where he would have been? Because he tried the traditional thing, he's another traditional martial artist. Tried being like Bruce Lee, to another be like Bruce Lee. But coming in with that comedy element, that's what made Jackie Chan boom. And there's a great film, actually. I was talking to Sam in the office actually earlier about it. It's called, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called The Big Brawl. It was officially released at the cinema as The Big Brawl. Then it was called Battle Creek Brawl. And it's one Jackie Chan's first collaboration in America when he came over. Funny thing is, right, he doesn't speak any English. He couldn't speak English. He could say, hello, how are you? Bye, thank you. But he couldn't really speak English. And offset, the script supervisors, obviously reading him his lines, so he'd learn his lines, practice, like saying, don't talk to me like that or I'll kill you. I'm not going to put the silly Chinese accent on, I don't do that. Don't talk to me or I'll kill you. Don't talk to me like that or I'll kill you. So that's what she says. So he'd be saying, I'm not going to do it. Don't talk to me or I'll kill you. And it's like emotionless because he's saying the lines, but he doesn't know what they mean. And it was quite funny. But it's a great film. Some of the Buster Keaton elements are in that. Okay, the little tricky bits. So have a watch of that, guys. It's a great film. And it's where you see the foundations of Jackie Chan using the Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin slapstick. And it's a great film. I love it. You know? So I hope that answers that one. Daryl, who's the best and worst actor you work with on set? Right, I can't really say this, to be honest. I've had some pain in the arses. I think I told you I'll tell you a quick story. Daniel Radcliffe, I worked with on a movie, David Copperfield. He played young David Copperfield, and he was only, I think, about 9 at the time, really young. Anyway, there's another actor who plays his schoolmaster. Let's just say he was a very, very enthusiastic actor. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, I turn up in the morning, and there's a sequence where the headmaster whips the young Daniel Radcliffe, the David Copperfield, okay? So the camera's like where you are. Daniel Radcliffe, not rude by any means, there's like a desk here. He leans over the desk like this, and from behind here, Imagine that's Daniel Radcliffe's bottom there. He gets whipped like this. He's screaming, ah, ah, don't do that again, okay? That's the sort of thing that goes on. So, fairly straightforward, we would have thought. Anyway, so I go in, I start talking to the actor, no names mentioned. I said to him, hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. Right, we're going to do the whipping. I've got rubber whip made out of rubber. You don't have to actually hit him. We'll hide the gaps. You can be like this far away from him because the camera's in front. So I just demonstrated. So I stood up and said like that, showing the distance of not being anywhere near where you're going to hit him. Okay. He gets up. He does it. He does it with a bit of energy. Thank you very much, Andreas. Fantastic. Brilliant. Blah, 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 blah. See you on set. So we go down to set. We'll really do it. Okay. Talk everything through. The positions are all good. The camera's all good. Okay. We do a little walkthrough. He goes through it all. Slow motion walkthrough. Everybody's happy. Okay. Here we go. And turn him over. Action. Anyway, on action, the actor's eyes light up like this. Okay. And I'm going. I look at them and I get that. I've had it before. I'm like, oh no, here we go. Anyway, he just goes like a lunatic. He's going, anyway, Daniel Radcliffe's obviously going, like this. Anyway, and he's actually whacking Daniel Radcliffe across the arse with this rubber cane, whacking him. Anyway, whacks him a few times, and I'm at the side watching. I'm like, whoa, cut. And he's like, what? I said, you're hitting him with a cane. Oh, I'm acting. I said, no, you don't need to act. I said, you hide the gap. You don't hit him, okay? Do what we told you to do. So I had a bit of a row with him. He sort of stormed off. We sorted it all out, and we're ready for take two. Now I start to think, coordinate head on. I'm thinking, right, let's get loads of pads down his pants. So I put pads all the way down his pants, round the side of him here, okay? And at his lower back, padding him up. Right, get the actor back in and said, right, let's just go through this again. You do not need to hit him. Pads are on him just in case. You do not need to hit him, okay? I demonstrated it. He has a go at it. Lovely. Okay, take two. Stand by. Eyes open up. Anyway, goes like a lunatic, starts whacking the hell out of Daniel Radcliffe, okay? I'm going, whoa, stop. Anyway, he was hitting him so hard, okay? He was bending the cane round, and the cane was hitting him in the stomach. It hit him so hard. So I went, whoa, stop. And I stopped it quite early. I said, whoa, what's happening? And I thought, right. And they said, right, we want to get this done, blah, blah, blah. And Daniel Radcliffe was brilliant. He was a real trooper, you know. He had tears in his eyes, but he was a real trooper. So I'm thinking, right, quick. So I said to the props guys, have you got anything like carpet or anything? So he said, yeah. So he gets me a roll of carpet, this thick, okay? Cut story short, I lie on the floor, holding this carpet, okay, away from Daniel Radcliffe's bum, okay? It's about that thick. So that thick, away from Daniel Radcliffe's bum. So I said to him, listen, you do not need to whack full power, but just in case, here's the carpet. So I want him to hit just in front of the carpet, okay? Anyway, turn over. Comes back in again, right? He hits the carpet so hard, okay? He snaps the cane in half. So I'm like, snaps the cane and he throws it on the floor like it's rubbish. So I went, whoa, whatever, you know. Anyway, I talked to the director. I said, that's it. We're not doing it anymore. This guy's a freaking lunatic, you know. So this is what you have to deal with. Anyway, funny thing is, right, Daniel Radcliffe loved Star Wars. He was only young. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she bought me an Obi-Wan, because obviously doubling Obi-Wan. She bought me this little Obi-Wan figurine. I had it in my camper van that I had, hanging in the window. And he said how he loved it. And he was a real trooper. And obviously it hurt him, but he was a real trooper. So anyway, I ran to my car afterwards, and I grabbed it, and I walked up to him, and I said, listen, Daniel, you've been brilliant. He was only like 9. I said, you've been really brilliant. You really soldiered through this. I thought you acted really good. And I said, you proved yourself to be a Jedi. And I gave him my little Obi-Wan. And I didn't get to ask him, because when I did Harry Potter, I didn't get to ask him if he still had it. But yeah, funny story then. As I said, it meant a lot to him, and I thought it's a nice little trophy for him. Oh, it's so lovely. But that actor was a nightmare. So I've had a few like that. I've been beaten up by, well, literally whacked by actors as well. I've had to chop my hands to bits. Russell Crowe was a primal at the beginning, so I chopping my hands to bits. Didn't pull his blows at all. So yeah, but you have to do what you can do. Improvise, adapt, overcome to make it safe. But that was awful. Horrible time. You've got to think on your feet. So I hope that one answers that one, guys. Who we got to now? Peter, how are you? Is there any stunts you haven't performed yet which you would like to do? I was really lucky, mate, to be honest. I mean, there's always things. I mean, you know, I talk with a lot of colleagues, like you're in the business. You know, a lot of guys have done stunts I haven't done. You know, I'd like to think if I did it, I would have done a great job. I remember I did a Skidoo crash on the Bond And another guy was doing that job, a very competent stunt guy, was up for the job, had a bit of an altercation with the stunt coordinator, and then he sort of talked his way out of the job, really, by arguing with the stunt coordinator about how it should be done. So I got called to do this job, and I sort of nodded. He showed me a photograph of Dar Robinson, who he knew, who had done a similar gag. But Dar Robinson's on a bike, and he's jumping over a fence, over a bridge, so he's jumping up in the air. This was an invisible car, so you haven't got the luxury of jumping up in the air because you don't know it's coming. And he was adamant, you can't lift yourself up in the air, you've got to stay down. I mean, literally, I'm driving into a railway sleeper at about 35, 40 mile an hour in Skidoo, got to jump at the last minute. So I just nodded my head and said, yeah, I won't jump up, yeah, I'll do exactly what you want to. Anyway, I went away, got the props guys with the Skidoo and said, right, build me foot pegs up like this in black, massive. I said, I've got really baggy trousers as well, so I could be a lot higher and the baggy trousers look like I'm sitting on the seat, but I'm not. I'm sort of on my tiptoes as high as I could. Pre-cut all the front of the bike, pre-cut the handlebars in half, virtually, so they'd snap off. So if my feet get caught, okay, I'm not going into that railway sleep because it would have killed me. And anyway, cut long story short, I just flew this thing in, last minute left it, took quite a whack. The Skidoo was obviously mullered. Got up, massive congratulations from everybody, and the stunt coordinator comes up and goes, fantastic job, brilliant. And I remember looking at my colleague who's over the side, very competent stunt guy. And I sort of looked at him and just shook my head. In other words, I kept my mouth shut. The shame he didn't, because he would have done a good job. I know he would have done. And so just saying, sometimes you see people do jobs, and I love it when I see colleagues do jobs, and I think, do you know what? I don't think I could have done it as good as that. You've nailed it, mate. And that particular guy's done a lot, and a few of the colleagues in the business have. It's great. Not that I'm brilliant, but I think if you're going to do a job and you see someone do it really well, and you think, do you know what? I couldn't have done it as good as that. Fair play to you. So I don't know. I think the one thing in my career, I never got pushed to my potential. I'd love to have seen what I could have done. I had ideas, not dreams, goals. I mean, I've done sort of 1 and 3s from height, from like 80 feet, whatever. I'd love to have done a 2 3/4 somersault. I'd have to have gone over 100 foot, and potentially on fire would have been cool. To do a 2 3/4 laid out somersault from 100 feet and things like that, which I had the capability to do, but I never got pushed to my potential. But it's about the passion, guys. It's not, but I love the fact of pushing to the limits, because I had people like Dar Robinson who inspired me, and he was a great stunt guy. He did some amazing things. Look him up if you don't know Dar Robinson. He died sadly in a motorbike crash. The coordinator on the Bond was with him when he died, actually found him. He crashed on a run-by. Wasn't even a sequence. They were just doing run-bys, and he lost it on a bend and went into a tree, and the tree impaled him, went straight through him. And I don't like mentioning names, but the stunt coordinator found him, and he was dead. He was impaled. And he was a great stunt guy, did some brilliant, great stunts. And he inspired me when I was young, and I used to watch what he could do and think, that's the level. So I looked at him as the standard. But, there's always jobs you see other people do and you think, great. But whatever job you do, mate, for you as well, do the best you possibly can. That's it. And if you can put a little bit of your own spin on it, like I said about the motorbike crash, that's always great to do. Just do your little extra. Put your own spin on it. It's your stunt. Do it your way. Hope that answers that. Other names were taken. Who's that? Hi, Andreas. What is the one project left to do to make you die a happy man? To be honest, mate, don't get me wrong. I could die now. Not that I'm going to. God, I hope not. Is that right? No, I don't know. I mean, it's not about that, because when you're in the business, and you work a lot, jobs become just another job. Not that you get complacent, but, when you work on a lot of the biggest productions, it's a bit of a, how can you say it? Sometimes a bit surreal. I remember sitting there like on a Bond set, in the key chase team or whatever, in a Bond set, one of the key teams, and you just think it's really mad that, when I used to watch these films, thinking I'm actually a key stunt guy or in the core team on a massive Bond film, it's quite surreal. It's not that you're doing the same thing. Same with Star Wars, I suppose. Same with things like Mission Impossible, Bourne Identity, all these films. Well, Bourne Identity, I did the first one, and it was unknown, and it became a big success. Same as Mission Impossible. But I don't know. I think it's quite mad when you're working on these films to think that you're actually on them. I don't think I had a few things I'd like to have done. I mean, one I didn't do. I'd love to have turned the car over and go through a house. In other words, have a pre-built house. Love to have gone through one side of the house and out the other, cannon a car. Because, I'd done enough cannons, but I never did it through a house. And that would have been great to have done. So an idea, for someone. Like a car chase, and I go around a bend too fast and lose it, and the car cannons through a house. So that's a gag I would like to have done, but I didn't. So there you go. Hope that. Max, how are you? Andreas, what language besides English is very useful on set? Well, listen, mate, if you've got languages, when you go abroad, anywhere is an asset. You know, if you can talk other languages, I'm not great. I mean, I got by with like pidgin Greek before. I got offered a few jobs because of that. But listen, Spanish, French, German are all key all around the world. You know, very, very key. Spanish, massive all around the world. So I think the more you can have to your back. And don't get me wrong, when you're in these countries, if you can pick up whatever, I used to get the old phrase books, and it's just courtesy, and it's great to be able to speak a bit of the language when you go out on shows. But the more you have under your belt, mate, the better. I think that's the best one to do it. Where are we? Guys! Aidan, how are you? Hi, Andreas. What was your most scariest stunt you've ever done? Ooh. Again, mate, you don't blow your trumpet, but it becomes a bit the norm. I love that adrenaline. It's a bit like taking drugs. I'll be honest, right? I never took drugs. And I gave up drinking a long time ago. But there's no drug like the adrenaline of doing like bigger stunts, and don't get me wrong, it's quite mad and quite surreal. And I think any of my colleagues established in the business and, doubling lead actors and doing big stunts on films will understand it. I remember when I'm doing sort of big jobs, I remember leaving my house, and not that it's in the forefront of your mind, but you start packing up things, tidying up the cushions, thinking, will I ever see them again? If I get this wrong, it's quite weird, quite surreal. But, that is just natural adrenaline. It's good to have apprehension. Like I said, anybody who says they don't have any fear at all are compulsive liars or lunatics, but you channel that. So at the end of the day, I'm doing that job. Yes, you have to put all of that behind you. If you get the timing slightly wrong, I'm doing an air ram out of a building. If I don't do the air ram and clear the window, they're going to blow that building to pieces and I'm going to get fried. There's no way I'm not. Even if the air ram doesn't go off, I'm going to go through that window. That's my mindset. And when they come to turnover action, it's a very, very lonely place, trust me. But that's when you go to work. It's the loneliest place in the world, but nothing beats it for the adrenaline. And when you nail it, and there's that sort of, not so much the applause. In the UK, we're not into that. America, I worked in America, and they're all like, I'd get thrown up in the air over a table and collapse, and they want to go, woo-hoo-hoo! And you're looking around, going, someone did something behind me. But in the UK, it's very, everyone's like, yes, not bad. Yes, that's not too bad. Okay, moving on, which is quite nice in a way. But when you nail it, that adrenaline's great. So I don't know. I've had a few jobs, but I think it's that adrenaline that gets you through. No one springs to mind. I think, I said about the accident, I think on the other one, on Star Wars, when I nearly broke my neck and I couldn't feel my legs for a couple of minutes doing a backward air ram, having to get back up. I remember it was George Lucas. Come on, we've got to get on with it. Is he all right? Let's get on. Let's do the take. And that reality is I'm just a tool. I'm just a tool. They get out of a box to do a particular gag and they don't care. They sort of use me. If I'd have broken my neck, they would have obviously got someone else in later to do it. And I've seen that happen with colleagues, replaced, died or seriously injured, and someone else comes in and does it. And that's in your mind. And I think when you've got to get back on that air ram again, when you're nearly broken your neck and someone else is firing a button for me, it's not a nice feeling. As I said, it's that's not nice when you've got to do that. But you've got to get up there, focus, forget about everything and just totally focus on what you're doing. So I think no particular stunt stands out, mate. I think, you get used to that. So I hope that answers that one, Aidan. BAA's come in. What's this one? Someone's obviously come in via this. Do you think Jackie Chan's style of fighting changed combat sequences due to his combination of style, humour, martial arts expertise? I spoke about this earlier. Jackie Chan was great, but sometimes people don't really change the will. A lot of what Jackie Chan does, Buster Keaton did, Charlie Chaplin did, the Keystone Cops. If you go back and look at a lot of the gags, some of the gags these guys did were like madness, He used to just use bed mattresses and fall, 20 foot into these. So Jackie Chan was very good in a way that he took that comedy, Buster Keaton style comedy, with his martial arts and added it together with comedy. And he was the first to do that. And that set him on a goal. And no one's been able to, because he set that path and he did it really well, no one's been able to compete with him, I don't think. Because that comedy element, slapstick, is great and it worked really well. And that boomed him. So there you go. I think that answers that one. David Greaves, do you think the Oscars should involve categories for stunts coordinators? Yes. I mean, to be honest, now I'm old in the tooth. I'm going back to a lot of productions I worked on. I never even got credited. It's a bit like a kick in the face, I worked my arse off when I was filming for like 7 months, and someone in production decides I'm not worthy to get credit. But again, I'd sit there and I'd watch the film, and you know what you've done. And this happened to a lot of my peers as well in the early days. Because unlike America, when you work in America on a SAG contract, Screen Actors Guild contract, it's in your contract. If you're not credited, you can sue them. That's why you see American film, 50 billion stunt guys are on there. Everybody has to be credited. But in the UK, it's down to producer's discretion. And it always has been. So sometimes not even down to the stunt coordinator's discretion. The stunt coordinators can put a list of names into production, but it's up to production whether they do it. And a lot of stuff on TV especially, they go, oh, the credits run too long, so we'll have to scrub the stunt guys, which is just disrespectful. But yet the key toilet cleaner gets the credit, and the stunt guy, risking his life and limb doesn't. So I think, yes, why is the question, why aren't they? I tell you why, is because it encroaches on actors, whereas the public think the actors have done the stunts, and it encroaches on the director. Because any renowned or good stunt coordinator will second unit direct, or pretty much, if he's not second unit directing, he is guiding the director and allowing the director to understand how to shoot it properly. When you've been in this game a long time as a stunt performer coordinator, you know how to direct action, because that's all you've done. So you're encroaching on those people, and that's what they don't like. So I think that's the big problem, and that's why. Whereas the actor stroke director get the credit for the action, the stunt coordinator came in, or the stunt performer, second director, whatever, it starts to encroach on them. That, I think, is the biggest issue. And yes, but it should be done. I think it should be there without a doubt. Everyone else gets it, why not? I hope you're okay, guys. I mean, God, we've been going on. So if your questions are coming, I'm happy. But let's have a look. Let's just finish these ones off then. And then I'll just end for now, because we don't want to keep you forever. Where did we get to? Right. Naam, how are you? Do you have any projects or films you would like to work in the future? I don't know, mate, to be honest. I mean, each project comes in. I sort of opted not to be away on feature films for long terms. I did enough of that in my career. I just didn't want to. I wanted a life. Because you could be away for 7-9 months. And I did like two years. I did 4 films back to back, and I was pretty much away for like 2 years. And you come back and go, I'm here. Everyone goes like, who are you? Oh, what's my house again? Was it that one or was that one? Quite funny. So I don't mind doing bits on them, but I don't want to. And I say no, I don't want to be away for months on end. So I think I just, and it's nice when I can pick and choose projects, which is nice. I get some and I don't really want to do. I'm not interested, I've never been just in this business for money. And I think if you, in any capacity of us in the film industry, if you're thinking about the whole idea is to be a millionaire and earn loads of money, you're in the wrong business, because you've got to work your nuts off. I mean, colleagues of mine are working going from film to 7 months, 6 months, 7 months, 5 months, 4 months, 7 months, constantly, and they're like the top earners, but they do not have a life. But they love it, don't get me wrong, it's fine for them, but it's not fine for me. But they're earning every penny in time, not just obviously doing what they're doing, but time away is a big thing. So I've got no particular ones, I just love projects when they come in, and I like doing things differently, and I'm sort of allowed to put my own spin on it, which is quite nice. So I think that answers that one now. Colm, how are you? Titus, there you go. You've got a bloody Roman emperor name, Titus. Hi, Andreas. Hope your ankle is doing better. Yes, it is. Thank you, mate. It's getting stronger and stronger. Still feels really strange. Feels a bit plastic, like my shoulder. But anyway, do you think with the advancement of CGI and mocap becoming so realistic that stunt work in the future will be replaced? Right, this has come up before. I remember it was annoying, right? They did a magazine, I think it was GQ magazine. I did an article for GQ magazine, and I said, look, yes, they will come in. Yes, they are slowly replacing us with this, that, and the other. But afterwards, I did say, but actor safety and then advising on set will be going on all the time. An actor wants a stunt guy there to test everything for him, to tell him it's okay. Any actor who's doing anything involved in big battle sequences or doing big action stuff wants stunt guys around him and wants to be advised and guided, and they feel secure and comfortable. So I think we're going to be in that capacity, whatever. So you can build what you want to build, but we'll always be there in that capacity, and nothing beats that. I think there you go. So I think that answers that question. It won't, I think it's going to go on a long time as advisors, if anything. Peter, early in your stunt career, was there many people to train and learn to help you progress in your skills, mate? No, there wasn't. To be honest, it's a very funny business. And you probably heard, I mean, a lot of people do. I got a lot of negativity from stunt register and stunt guys because I was so-called passing on the dark secrets, giving the magic away. I mean, what magic? Do you know what I mean? If I can keep people alive where I've seen people get smashed to bits, and I can think, do you know what? He's got smashed up because of A, B, and C, and I can allow people like you to understand that. I mean, look, Peter, I remember just thinking when I last saw you, on that job you're in the back of the car. Now, you've obviously learned from me, and you asked me questions about all the driving, which is great. Now, you think if I turned to you and went, sorry, need to know basis, dark secrets. Do you know, what are you going to think? Do you know, it's not going to help you, is it? And that's what it's like for me. They'll all go, oh, no, you know. So I'd have to look around the corner and watch what people are doing and just, you know, get whatever information I could, because they wouldn't tell you anything. So I think, you know, listen, I had a fantastic career, and it's time for me to pass on to you guys in all these capacities, you know. And I've got a lot of experience, and nothing beats experience, guys. And that's the important thing. You know, you get experience and passing that experience on. So if I can keep guys like you safe and alive, that's my duty. And I will do that. I don't care what anybody says. You know, guys sitting there telling people nothing, good luck to them. But it's all wasted. And I lost a few colleagues in this business who passed away, had serious accidents in the business and got killed, and all their knowledge is gone. And I suddenly thought, you know what? And the older guys who died. I mean, your generation don't even know who these guys are. And they were the innovators of this business. And I think it's so sad that, you know, it's not passed on their knowledge. So I think I'm lucky I worked with all these guys and took a lot from them that I can pass on to the next generation. And that's what I try and do. I try and do that in all the courses, especially Blast for stunt guys, obviously passing on that knowledge, you know, that I've got. So I hope that helps that one. Lydia, how are you? How do you feel about actors who are doing their own stunts? Do stuntmen get annoyed by it as they might be higher risk impacting production? But okay, right. Let's look at Tom Cruise. Okay, I've worked with Tom Cruise a few times. Very physical guy, very capable guy. The big thing with Tom Cruise and any A-list actors are they got stunt guys around them to guide them, advise them. Now let's look at Tom Cruise's stunts. Okay, the one when he's on the side of that of the aircraft, hanging on the door. They had a stunt guy do that about 10 times, okay, to prove every way possible that that works before Tom Cruise gets up there, okay? Don't get me wrong, Tom Cruise is doing the gags, but ultimately, you know, it's like me going to work and having another stunt guy, go up there, Charlie, if you can just do the forward and let me know that everything's okay, the bag and everything, and then I'll get ready and come up and do it. Thanks very much. It's not the way it works, is it? But that's how it is if I'm an actor, which is understandable, because then they can see it, they're not stunt people, so they need to be advised. Okay, and it's up to us to keep close with them. It's up to us to guide them. It's up to us to keep them safe. Okay, going back to the other question, that's an important thing with us. And if we weren't around, they wouldn't do the gags. It's as easy as that. They need to have that confidence. They need to be able to see it. Okay, and that's the important thing. Going back to Blast, that's the important thing with Blast. Everything on that course you will see. You will see a demonstration. You get an explanation, you get a demonstration, and then you participate. Okay, in everything. Even I get up and do them all. I love doing them all. I can't do them all. But I have to delegate because I love to show what I can do and pass on my knowledge. So as far as your question goes, actors are allowed to do what's deemed safe. Tom Cruise, going back to when he snapped his ankle, did he really need to do that? No, he didn't. But he's a capable guy. He made a mistake, like stunt guys make mistakes, and they stopped filming for 3 months. That's the chance that they take. But with Tom Cruise being in charge, producing, directing, whatever else he's doing, he says, I want to do that gag. And they're saying, well, no, you can't. He said, why can't I? Oh, it's going to cost us millions. There you go, there's the money. Oh, it's going to cost us health and safety. There's Charles from health and safety. He says I can do it. There's the stunt guy who'll train me. So why can't I do it? Yeah, you're right, Tom, you can do it. There you go. So I think that answers that one. Right, we're running late then, guys. I don't want to go on forever. It's been bloody an hour and a half of me waffling on. So I won't keep for long. I'll just have a look. Who else have we got? Quickly, guys. No more questions, please. Guys, we might be able to do another one if you want to. Thanks, Tanguy. Thanks to everybody. Yeah, good, guys. I think there's anything. I think as far as questions goes, yeah, thank you to all of you. Just while I've got it, just to say, what did I want to miss out on? Right, I'm going to give you another little challenge, but I'm going to record this one. Just to let you know you need a bit of space. You're going to have to go outside. So anywhere outside you can go, you're going to do this one. So I'll get it and I will pass it on to you. And I'm trying to link this one in so we can do like a little bit of a chain video so we can chain and link with each other. So whoever basically do like I do, you'll do what I do and you'll finish with passing the baton as such. So that'll be fun. So we're going to do that. Shouts out I said about, which is good. Right. We'll let you know, guys, as far as courses and everything goes, we'll let you know as soon as we know. Hopefully we're looking at September. Let's hope that goalpost doesn't go, but September on, we're looking at that. Same with the film industry. As soon as we hear anything, They're all talking about ways it's going to get going. We don't know. It's all a bit like, yeah, whatever. So we'll let you know when that happens. Okay? Right, well, I've got you. Grants and loans. Now, there are government schemes, guys, for a lot of you, and I wanted to say this. Look on gov.org. Look at self-employed businesses, whatever. They're giving out grants. And if not grants, you can get loans, okay, that could help you out if you need to. And the loans are 12 months. The government will pay the interest. If you don't use it in 1 year, you just give it back. So do it. I mean, I've been all over it. So do it, guys. That's another one. Gov.org. Have a look and see if you're eligible for that. Okay? Give us some of the ideas of what you want, guys, like these. I hope you enjoyed this. We can do another one if you want to. I'll do what you want to do. It's your BAA. Remember, it's your academy. And also with the student site. We didn't really used to interact with that. But it's nice to interact with you. But it's your site. Put up your own stuff. Inspire each other. You are all a team. I know all of you coming up. You know, interact with each other. You are the academy. You are the future of it. You know, and you're the passion, and you're showing it. Keep in touch. If you've got any messages about anything, guys, info@britishactionacademy.com. Send in anything you want to me or anything to the office. Okay, we're still up and running. Although we're in hibernation, we will still get to answering stuff, and we're going to be running these. This is our interaction. Okay, so I hope that is everything we've got. So challenge will be up and running tomorrow. Keep yourselves positive, guys. And listen, it's been great. And I love your feedback. So let us know feedback by emails, anything, you know. Maybe I can change my... I had a different cap every time. Have you noticed that? I'm running out of caps, so might have a big cowboy hat or so, a big cigar next time. But anyway, be positive, guys. Be safe. And obviously, I look forward to seeing you all real soon. Thank you, guys. Take care. Be lucky and happy and safe.